Hey guys, so I apologize for having a scarf on my head. I'm trying to moisturize my scalp because being outside since I shaved my head has dried my head out, so please ignore this portion. But today's video has to do with a question that I got via Facebook, and it has to do with should you go to CNA training or should you just go to nursing school, become a CNA through your nursing program, and then work at a hospital from there? So I wanted to address something first. If you don't know if nursing is for you, like if you have never thought about being a nurse, or you aren't really sure if it's something that you actually want to do, but you want to try it out, become a CNA first, only because it will give you that experience. It will give you a very in-depth look into what the nursing field actually consists of. You will experience, you know, certain things. Obviously, CNA is not the same as working as a nurse, but um, you will get kind of a feel for nursing, and it will better help you decide if nursing school is for you, if nursing in general is for you. Um, so basically, I would say if you don't know for sure that you actually want to be a nurse, then going to CNA training instead of just going right into nursing school and getting your CNA certification that way is a good idea. But I think it just depends on the person. Um, if you may not be able to get like financial aid to go to nursing school, I think CNA training is definitely a way to get your foot in the door. Not even just if you can't afford like nursing school, but just in general, being a CNA first before you go to nursing school and before you become a nurse is definitely a way to get your foot in the door, especially if you work in the hospital. You could easily transition from CNA to nurse. Um, or even CNA to phlebotomy, CNA to medical assisting by working in that same hospital system. But again, some CNA programs are also expensive. It just depends on if you're able to like find a facility to sponsor your training. I know in my area there are hospitals that will hire you as a nurse assistant trainee. And I'm sorry if you hear my dog moving around. But they will hire you as a nurse assistant trainee, and they are basically paying you because it is a job, but they're basically paying you to get trained as a CNA. And then once you graduate from their training program, you will have a position as a nurse assistant or CNA. So that's something to look into also. I do feel like people should work as CNAs before they become nurses, only because I feel like the nurses who have been CNAs before treat their CNAs much better than the ones who maybe just skipped right past. Not only that, but it also does help when you are going through nursing school, because a lot of the clinical rotations, at least in my experience, I'm not a nurse right now, but I did go to nursing school in the past and I did one set of clinical rotations. And just being a CNA, um, like back then, I wasn't a CNA before I went to nursing school, but coming from a place now where I am a CNA and I am going back to nursing school now, like I do think that being a CNA and having those skills and the ability to create relationships and a bond and an understanding with your patients is definitely something that can help you when you become a nurse. Um, you know, there are people who don't want to do CNA work for obvious reasons. CNA work is not easy. It's definitely not a glamorous job. It's very rough mentally, physically, sometimes even spiritually. It's very rough. And so, I definitely think that you should have that experience. But again, CNA work and nursing is not for everyone. And I think those people tend to get weeded out of the CNA realm, especially fairly quickly. Um, but a lot of people get into it for the wrong reasons. However, I'm getting a little off track. But I would say, if you don't have the money to pay for a CNA training program right now, if you don't have the time, you don't want to waste time as far as like, you don't want to waste starting nursing school. Usually by the time you get through nursing fundamentals, which is usually the first clinical that you have, at least in the schools that I have looked into. Um, you know, that tends to be the first clinical. I would say look into getting a CNA through your nursing school because, like I said, a lot of CNA training programs are popping up, and some of them are way more expensive. I got mine for free by agreeing to work for 6 months to a year for a nursing home, and because I made that agreement with them, they paid for me to become a CNA. I do think it's a personal choice. If you don't want to work as a CNA, but you want to go straight to nursing, that's obviously a choice that you can make. I'm not here to judge anybody for making that decision because, like I said, not everybody is cut out to be a CNA. Not everybody is cut out to do that type of work. However, I do feel like if you think that you're not cut out to be a CNA, you're probably also not cut out to be a nurse. I'm, again, no judgment, but I'm just saying, like, for obvious reasons, nurses technically are still responsible for doing every task that a CNA is also responsible for doing. So you just need to think long and hard about, like, why you're getting into it. But, I think that kind of answers your question. I'm sorry I got a little rambly about certain things, but I just want to make sure to try to give you the best answer possible. I think it should be your own personal decision on whether or not you get your CNA first or whether you get your CNA through nursing school. But either way, I do feel like nurses should work as CNAs before they actually become a nurse because it helps them to understand kind of the frustrations of being a CNA, what their CNAs go through, and also just to kind of prepare them for the delegation from nurse to CNA, like trying to learn how to delegate to your CNAs because there is a right way and there's a wrong way. And I'm not going to get into that in this video, but hopefully this was helpful to the person who asked me. I always appreciate your questions and your topic suggestions. I do have a current list of healthcare related videos that are coming soon. So if you're interested in more content about the medical field, CNA, phlebotomy, medical assistant, those are the current certifications that I have. So I will tend to focus more on that, but I am currently in the process of going back to nursing school to get my BSN. So stay tuned if you're interested in going along on this journey with me, and I will talk to you guys in tomorrow's video.